Welcome to Cyscorner.
Hi all, Sai here. I have had so many questions about how I do my heat transfer, so I thought I would just do a video on how I do it. I learned about it by watching a YouTube video. I watched a few of them actually, and then I tried it. It didn't work very well. I just had to keep on practicing. And finally, I think I have it down where my technique works for me anyway. I think you just have to practice until you get it. But I'll show you what I do, what I've learned. The only way I know how to do it is this way, and I'll show it to you. This is paint, and then I type in whatever I want.
Hello there, Sai here. We are trying to reverse this text. Blah, ha, ha.
And then I go in and I save as a JPEG file, one test, and I save it. Then I go in and I find that file. I open with Microsoft Office 2010, and this has an Edit Pictures tab, which I can click, and when I click that, it opens up another window. It says Rotate and Flip, and you click that, and then it says Flip Horizontal. There we go. Save as test, and I add flip on there, and then it saves it all in the same folder, forwards and backwards. Then from there, I'm able to open it and print, whatever size I want that to be. And sometimes I have to print a bunch of different times until it's the size that I like. And then of course pick your printers. What I had learned when I had watched the YouTube videos myself is that it had to be a toner cartridge, so that ink won't work. I'm going to print some stuff off, and we're just going to check that out ourselves to see if it works or not. This printer here is an Office Jet. It holds these types of cartridges. And so these are the ink cartridges, and this supposedly does not work for the transfers. This is a laser jet, and this one works great for the transfers, and it has a toner cartridge inside. So toners work very well. Okay, out in the corner shop now, and I have a few different kinds of wood here. I have my backer board, which is the 1/4 inch plywood. I have some cherry, some maple, and I believe that this is cypress. And on each of these I have taped some words that are from the toner cartridge, so those should work fine. I have printed off this with the ink, so this is supposedly not supposed to work, and then I printed off some words with the ink. I'm gonna just try to see if we can get some of this color off. So I have a yellow sun, and I have my little wand plugged in and warmed up. So I'll go over the sun a little, and over the word a little bit on the backer board, which usually works real well, real easy. I can tell the paper's warm, so nothing. A little bit with the dark there, but nothing with the sun, and that's with the ink. So I'm going to try the ink with the black. So we'll try this here. Okay, I got it taped on there. So this again is the ink. This is toner. Okay, we can see that that made a very light image. Let's go up now to this one up here, that's the toner cartridge. And what I'm doing is I'm rubbing it with light, well, I'm rubbing it with some pressure. That's why I found the tape to be so important. And let's take a look at it. And there. Yes, so the toner works and the ink definitely does not. Okay, cool. This is my second wood burner that I've gotten. The first one I had, I broke. But all the tips from my first one fit into this one. And this one came with a lot more tips than my other one did, including this transfer tip, which is flat and wide and supposed to be really nice for transferring, but I can't get it to work right. I can't do my transfers with this very well. So I stopped using this one and I started using a tip similar to this, which now looks like this. And it's because, you know, it's warm and I'm pushing on it. But with this rounded shape and it's wide, I'm able to do my transfers okay. I figured out that's what I needed to have. But one thing I like about this wood burner is it has a dial so that I can have, you know, a high heat or low heat. And I've discovered that medium heat works really well for these transfers. I was doing it too hot and then I had to burn off all the heat. But now that I have it on medium, it seems to work well. But the dial is also the downfall of this one because it doesn't stay by itself. I have to tape it or it'll move. And then it also is in a bad spot. So I usually end up having to hold it up because it's too heavy after a while on my hand to hold it up. And it just gets in the way. So that's one thing I don't like about this one. I wish the dial was at the end or just somewhere else other than right here. So let's move on to the cherry and see how that does with this stuff. And I have just Psy written there. So I just press it and rub it. And there we go. That worked well. Let's go on to the maple. Maple I have is this. I had written a sentence then. That worked great on the maple. And let's go to the cypress. And it says working. So I typed out, is this working? Wood that's a little bit softer, if you press too hard, it makes ridges in the wood. And that's kind of a bummer. I think that's where a thick round tip would work well. I have this little round tip, but it's so small that it's like a, you know, a point instead of a wide surface. And then this one is just too flat. I mean, need to design my own tip, maybe. Yeah, and something else too, it's taped down, and so we see I missed part of part of the W and part of the G there, so I just push it back and go right where those spots are. The tape is nice because it doesn't make it, you know, doesn't move then. There. So yes, it is working. So that's how I do my heat transfers, and it's taken lots of practice, and I had lots of tips from people, and so that really helped too. And the big key is having a surface that's wide and flat, but kind of rounded. So wide, rounded, a big flat round surface. This. The neat thing about this technique is if you don't like it, you just sand it off. Here's the piece of cherry, and say I didn't like that, I would just take some 150 grit sandpaper or whatever you want, and you just sand it. And it's gone. So that's nice. Then you can just do it again. The bad thing about the backer board, this is because it's different thicknesses, you might sand through one of the layers and then it'll look different, which I've done before. But, oh well, live and learn, right? So I hope that this explains my process for you, and if you have any questions, just let me know. So thanks for joining me, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye!